Hello Channel Neat viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel Neat. So in this episode, we're going to discuss something more dark and serious, and that is life purpose. By the end of this episode, viewers will be able to understand how ENTJs balance between TE logic and NI intuition. It is actually very simple for the ENTJ to strike a balance between logic and intuition, although many people may actually think that these two are in constant conflict. So I'll be giving a few examples in this episode. I must give credit to one of my favorite authors, Peter Singer. He is an Australian philosopher. So when I was 19, I read one of his books, How Are We to Live? And it has influenced me a lot. Why was the book able to influence me? This is because the logic is there, it has appealed to my TE, at the same time it's also appealing to my NI. So now I'm going to share with the viewers over here what I understand about life purpose or the meaning of life. Let's start with the discussion of chickens. Long ago, before chicken farming became popular, farmers bred their chickens free range. So the chickens were allowed to move from place to place, looking for worms, looking for food, and then they spend the entire day doing that. These chickens tend to lay big, healthy eggs. However, as the demand of eggs rose, chickens now have to be bred in coops. So now chickens are all lined side by side. The food is offered to them via a conveyor belt. So all they need to do is just to bend down and peck and eat. And last time they used to be roaming around the farm the whole day, roaming around the barn. Now this is literally impossible. There is a fellow chicken on the left, there is a fellow chicken on the right, there's no place to move. And then the food is just offered right in front of you, there's no need to search for food anymore. So what do the chickens do now? They start to peck each other. This is why all commercially bred chickens are usually depicked to prevent themselves from hurting one another. Why did I bring up this example? This example proves to show that even animals need to find something to do. So if animals need to find something to do, let's say the human beings. Now let's go on to our next example, and that is the American housewife syndrome. Long ago in the 1960s, American women are expected to stay at home to raise kids. So unlike modern women now, women in the past are not expected to work. They are the typical housewives. However, as you know it, one day the children will grow up, they will have to go to college and they will leave home. And when that happens, the housewife suddenly finds no more meaning in life because her purpose then was to raise the kids. Now that the kids are out of home, they need something to do. What do they do then? That is when they start to seduce the plumber boy, the electrician, the pizza delivery man, the ice cream man.
If a husband is still asleep.
So those people who are about the same age as I am will definitely hear of Desperate Housewives, the series, right? So a housewife may get involved with the gardener, so this is not uncommon. Again, what is the reason for this? The reason for this is that all human beings need to find something to do. They need something to occupy their time. They need to have a meaning in life. For some people, this purpose can be very mediocre, like I want to play games for the rest of my life. But for many other people, this purpose is something grander, like I want to be a nurse, I want to be a doctor.
퇴근.
So you get my point? Everybody needs to have a life purpose, regardless of whether they are aware of it or not, because they need to occupy their time to live. So in our modern sensing world, a lot of people like to set goals. And they set goals such as, I want to earn $1 million.
I wanna be a billionaire so fucking bad.
Personally, as an ENTJ, I find that there's something inherently wrong in this kind of goal statements. Why? Because it is measurable. What's wrong with being measurable? Because one day you're gonna achieve it. Then what? It's just as if the housewife raised kids. The kids one day will have to leave home. Then what is she left to do? She will have to find another purpose. So if you say that you want to earn $1 million, one day you will earn it. And what happens after that? you will start to feel empty because your goal has been fulfilled and you want to have another different purpose in life to replace the goal that you have already succeeded in achieving. So what is the next likely goal that you want to set? You will want to set, okay, now that I've earned $1 million, let's set the next goal, $2 million. So from my point of view, this is where ethics may become eroded. So I think this is also why a lot of politicians become greedy and corrupt, because it is so easy for them to set higher and higher goals. So earlier in this video, I mentioned about Peter Singer, the Australian philosopher. So he proposed in his book that we should set non-measurable goals. And this is where I really agree, because an ENTJ can work with intangible goals. So what are intangible goals? Intangible goals are goals that are vaguely defined, like I want to be a better person, I live to save more lives, I want to help the poor. So because there is nothing measurable in the statement, you do not know that you have achieved it. So you keep on going and going and going until you die. That is a very good purpose, because if you can achieve something, then you want to go on to make another goal. And the tendency is the goal snowballs to become worse in terms of ethics for most people. I must clarify. So I've seen a lot of people with an insatiable appetite for money. So I personally do know of a few people who have this insatiable appetite for money. So they just set targets for themselves and then keep going and going and going. It seems as if now they are totally obsessed with making money. Their personality sucks. It's very unfortunate that we live in a very sensing world. So for the ENTJ, this is somehow difficult, because everywhere I go, everybody talks about KPI, Key Performance Index. So in schools, for example, your performance is based on student feedback. So this is a little bit ridiculous, because they set a target for you. You must achieve 4.6 out of 5. How is that even achievable? But to think from the school's point of view, they do need to have indicators as well. So as an ENTJ, I try to have as little or as minimal such indicators for myself as possible, because I don't want to be bogged down by figures. Figures mean nothing. So you can have a lot of money, but you can be very sick. So a person who has $5 million may feel very poor as compared to a person who only has $6,000, for example, but have a very happy and united family. So poverty probably is a very psychological event. It's all in the mind. So as an ENTJ, my auxiliary function is introverted, intuition, and I. So I'm not good with, and I tend not to want to meddle with sensing functions. So the sensing functions that I have, SE is my third function and SI is my seventh function, which incidentally is also my blind spot. So what this means is that I am not obsessed with collecting data. So personally, because I use NI, I am very comfortable with goal statements that are intangible. But I would think that ESTJs, ISTJs, they really need a lot of information and they are not comfortable with intangible goal statements. So fellow ENTJs, do you agree with me? Can you work with intangible statements? Like, I want to be famous. I want to be super. I can feel the ESTJs and ISTJs screaming already. Don't know what it means. Now personally, I am not religious and I also do not expect ENTJs to be religious. However, because I'm very objective, I will really respect a person if he tells me that his purpose in life is to follow God. Why? Because it's ambiguous, it's good. Now if you tell me if your purpose in life is to get promoted and you want to earn $7,000 or you want to retire by 45, I don't think that is a good goal statement. And probably from the ENTJ's point of view, I will not have this kind of goal statement as well. I do not want to set a time limit for myself to retire. Besides, I don't think that retirement is fair. I think that everyone is given gifts and they are expected to use this throughout their lifetime. So we don't talk about retirement. We will use this for the rest of our lives until we die. So fellow ENTJs, what would you regard as your purpose or meaning in life? I hope that you have found this episode interesting and refreshing. And viewers, if you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more ENTJ, MBTI and fun stuff. Okay, I am going to sign off now and I will see you in my next episode. Goodbye!